Okay, so we're going to work on our reading today. Go ahead and take a look at this story. What's the title of this story, Ryan?
Berlin Wall.
Berlin Wall, okay? And look at the picture and the title and some of the vocabulary words. And what do you think that this story is going to be about?
A wall in Berlin.
A wall in Berlin. Yeah, what's Berlin, or what's that?
It's like this state or country that the Nazis something were in.
Yep, good. It's a city in Germany, right? Yes, very good job. Awesome. Okay. All right, so before we read, let's look at those vocabulary words, okay? You follow along while I read them. Communist, a supporter of a system where the government owns and operates a country's property and businesses. Democratic, a system of government in which the people choose the leaders. Citizens, members of a country. So we have a democratic government, right?
Yeah.
Because we get to choose or elect our leaders, right? Okay, we get to vote, exactly, okay? So what I'd like for you to do is, I'm going to read it first, and I want you to follow along, okay? Imagine that you spent the day with your best friend. That night, you said goodbye and both went home to sleep. The next morning, you woke up to find a tremendous wall separating your house from your friend's house. The wall would prevent you from seeing your friend for the next 28 years. Such a separation actually happened to some German citizens on August 13, 1961, when communist forces in Eastern Germany began to build the Berlin Wall. At this time, Germany was a divided country, and Berlin was a divided city. The 166-kilometer wall divided Berlin into East Berlin and West Berlin, and Germany into East Germany and West Germany. East Berlin was the capital of communist East Germany. West Berlin was a city in democratic West Germany. The communists built the wall to keep East German citizens from leaving their country in search of freedom in the West. East Germans were no longer allowed to enter West Berlin. Even East Germans who worked in West Berlin could not cross the border. East German guards and guard dogs patrolled the border. People who tried to climb the wall risked being shot or arrested. In 1989, hundreds of thousands of protesters finally forced the end of communist rule. On November 9th, the government opened the wall. People could pass freely from east to west, many for the first time in their lives. Joyous celebrations carried on in the streets for many days. Not long after the wall was opened, citizens from both sides participated in destroying it. Today, only a few sections of the wall remain standing, reminding people of a sad time. But not everyone needs reminding. When the wall fell, hundreds of East German guard dogs found themselves unemployed. German citizens adopted many of the dogs and retrained them to become family pets. The dogs grew to love their new homes and seemed to forget their old life, except when walking along the route where the wall once stood. Then the dogs would pick up the scent, ignore their master's commands, and begin to run their old guard routes. Interesting.
Okay, then that means I would want to keep my dog away from the wall.
Yeah, you would maybe keep your dog away from where the wall was, so the dogs actually remembered where the wall was, even though the wall wasn't there anymore.